Okay, so today we'll talk very briefly about the sort of IT systems of your company. As you grow, of course, pretty much everything you do will be based on IT, I would imagine. You'll be writing plenty of emails, you'll be writing documents, and everything that you and your staff record will probably be on computer. Now that's all very well and good, but you've got to bear in mind that over time you're going to need to get back those records, you're going to need to make sure things are backed up and that all the data is secure, both in terms of your own proprietary data, but also, of course, all the sensitive information relating to your customers, your suppliers, and also, of course, your staff. So there are a number of things I think you can do to make things run a little more smoothly with your IT. Obviously, the more you understand about IT, the better, because it is difficult and you're probably unlikely to be able to afford an IT manager. Although if you do not know anything about IT, I would certainly recommend that you have someone on hand that can help you. So the first thing I think you can do is when you're, for example, setting up email addresses, obviously there's email addresses for all your staff, but also set up some generic emails such as ceo@yourcompany.com or finance@yourowncompany.com. And indeed, in my book, I give you a whole list of potential ones and map those to the departments that we discussed in the previous chapter and in the previous video on this channel. That makes it easier because if your staff leave and you've been using the generic emails, that means that people can still get through to you. The IT systems are going to grow and become more complex as your business grows. One of the things you're going to need is remote access, and you need to achieve this with a virtual private network. This may need a professional set up for you, but it's certainly something you're going to want. If you're sitting in a cafe or hotel, or even at home, you really want to dial in using a secure encrypted connection so that your data is not compromised when you're working remotely. Along those lines, I would also store everything that you've got on your server, whether that's a remote cloud server or your own server, with encryption. That means if somebody comes in and hacks into the service or walks off with the server, just simple physical theft, then all the data on there is protected. And this becomes really important these days because there are obviously privacy rules, and as you're probably aware, certainly in the UK and Europe, GDPR is coming in imminently in May of this year. And you need to make sure that you're looking after people's data securely and responsibly, and this will go a long way to help you achieve that. Obviously, if somebody steals your data or you have a fire or whatever, you've got to think about disaster recovery. And again, I would suggest you put down, in simple terms, a disaster recovery plan. So think through what could possibly go wrong. Obviously, the obvious things like fire, theft and flood. But, things can get damaged, people can erase things by mistake. And so you want to have a policy in place that enables you to recover. So, for example, where do you keep your backups? How often do you keep your backups? Ideally, they'll be off-site. And something I talk about in the chapter of this book is some ways of setting up a system, particularly as a small company, whereby you can have a backup maybe at home, backing up what's in your server office at work. And it's actually fairly straightforward to set something like this up, and that can run automatically in the background because you're going to have plenty of other things to do and you're not going to be able to remember to do a weekly or even a daily backup yourself. All these things you need to think about as you grow. IT can be a bit of a headache. Obviously, everybody's after a paperless office. It's really difficult to achieve a paperless office. But I think with a bit of thought and planning, the IT systems that you put in place early on can certainly scale with you as your business grows. And actually, they'll help your business to grow because they'll operate smoothly in the background and you'll know that you've got backups and you'll know that things are encrypted and secure and everybody can access the different things that they need to on a daily basis.